So as I mentioned with the children, Olaf's going to make a brief cameo later on today. So you have to wait and find out why he's here. But before he does, I wanted to share a little bit with all of you about how the youth mission trip really shaped and impacted the way I sort of learned from today's readings. And so I've got a little bit of a story for you here. As a part of the youth mission trip, all of us, the leaders and the youth that were gathered, joined Sebastian at the Relay for Life, where he was taking in part in the ceremony for the cutting the ribbon to sort of start that race. Well, it was just right over at Centennial High School, and so Mandy and Oren came over to join us. And as soon as we pointed out Sebastian on that race, on that track, right, at the starting line, ready to cut that ribbon, Oren was ready to join him. He wanted to jump the fence, run in through the door, and get out on that track. By this point, I was a little tired. The youth mission trip was a lot of fun, but boy, it was a lot of work. Those youth, they just move a lot and they work hard, and I'm not getting any younger, so I was a little tired. And so was Mandy. I'm not sure, I don't know if any of you do it, but I can't imagine how people parent on their own. It truly does take a family to parent a child, and so Mandy was a little tired too. So here's Oren, posed and ready to take his place on that track there at Centennial. And I braced myself for the unrelenting energy of my son. At that time, I should have heard what Jesus says to us today. I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and the intelligent and have revealed them to infants. But I did not hear. I didn't know what these hidden things were. Whatever they are, I'd begun thinking about them before leaving for the mission trip, without even realizing it. Days before, Mandy and I were watching Frozen with Oren for what felt like the 900th time, right? This is why I've got this little Olaf, right? Well, while we were sitting there, I began to see it a little differently. As Anna asked Elsa to build a snowman, I began to hear Oren. Play with me, Papa. I watched as Elsa was isolated by fear of who she was. I watched while Anna sought out love in any way she could. Love that she had been separated from because of the death of her family and the fear of her sister. She longed for someone to build a snowman with. As Oren began to pick up speed around that track, Mandy and I took turns trying to keep up with him. And then something changed. Jessica suggested that some of the youth race Oren. And anytime you want to race, Oren is up for a race. He'll be ready to go. Happily, Mandy and I stood back and watched as Oren's legs moved as fast as they could to keep up with a much taller youth. Look, he comes, leaping upon the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. And let me tell you, it's exhausting chasing a young stag. These things were not some great mystery that were hidden. We played wedding songs and you didn't dance. Maybe we're just too tired to dance. But we need to join in to share in these hidden things as they are revealed in the feet of the children, dancing with joy. In the youth mission trip, what I learned from them, right, I don't think I went thinking, I'm going to be this great leader and teach. And sure, maybe they learned some stuff from me about cleaning a kitchen and making hot dogs, right? But they taught me so much. But why would such joyful play be such an important lesson? Jesus beckons to us today. Come to me, all you that are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Maybe that kind of joyful play is one of the ways we find rest. And just in case my unhearing heart wasn't listening, the youth prayed something unexpected that evening after the relay, something that God was teaching me through them. As we approached the end of our prayer, Bella spoke up. "Dear God," she said, "thank you for Orrin, who showed us how to be excited about everything." God is excited about all of us. We can play together, freed of our burdens by such play. And what great rest follows after we run with feet of joy. That isn't to say that play is easy, right? Whether you're tired or you just, want to read a book, play is hard. So much gets in the way of play. Anna and Elsa had to overcome lies, fear, and death to build their snowman. They had to both be open to who they were created to be and to be vulnerable to one another. We too are vulnerable to who God has created us to be when we play. In a world of roles where we must often assume positions and do things that are important and valuable, we're weary from carrying such heavy burdens. Like Olaf, we can find ourselves broken and confused. Our heads are turned away. It's unfortunate, it happens, right? Individually and as a community, the great creation God calls us to be, we try to reach out, but we don't have any arms. What are we going to do without arms? Or perhaps we walk on. Our feet are on God's path, but they're just not, right? We find ourselves not honoring God's divine creation. But like in that closing scene in Frozen, God calls to us, "Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. For the winter is past. The rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come. And the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land." Keeping everything together, huh?